Hi guys, welcome to my channel, and today's video is going to be looking at some of the bad characters in the newly released Netflix film Army of the Dead. And I'm just going to say I watched this movie a couple of days ago, and it was a fun watch. I enjoyed it. I liked that it really felt like a big action kind of budget film, but on Netflix, which is great, great vibe. That said, there were several beyond irritating things that I think really could have been fixed with a few tweaks to the story. And of course, there are things that absolutely don't make sense in terms of the story overall. You have to really like suspend uh, your belief in order to be like, okay, I'm just buying it. This is the story. But there are already several great videos out there breaking down and like reviewing the movie in terms of its story beats. And what I'm going to focus on is really just a couple of the characters and really questionable at best choices that they made, or just plain stupid. And I think they kind of like took away from the enjoyment of the movie, as in just my personal opinion. Of course, like you may have totally loved these characters or been on board with them and been like, okay, yeah, that's great. But for me, I was watching and I was just full on shouting at the screen, why on earth are you doing that? Why would anybody do that in the real world, in a movie, wherever? As in, why? Yes, seriously, why? And what I thought personally was these characters didn't need to make some of these incredibly stupid choices, or these have this really dumb reactions. In terms of the story would have been just fine if they had different reactions or made different choices or said different things, and it wouldn't have impacted the overall storyline at all. So it makes me just wonder, why did you do that? And I suppose we can go through it maybe one by one. There were several, but I don't know if I should start with the bigger ones that were irritating or the ones that were just mildly irritating. And maybe one of them is when they're assembling the team. Like, if you don't know the overview of the movie, essentially, Vegas has turned into zombie land, and they build a kind of container fence around it, and it's completely walled off from the outside world, and it's about to be nuked. And some billionaire guy says, hey, go in there and steal me back this cash from my own safe.
Investment vault beneath the strip. 200 million the insurance company already reimbursed me for. Untaxable, untraceable.
Unspendable?
That's where you come in.
Yeah, why would you need to steal it? But that's another thing altogether. And so he proposes this to Dave Bautista's character, Scott Ward, and tells him, put a team together, go in and do this job. Great. So Dave Bautista's character, Scott, gets a team together, and one of the people he recruits for the team is this YouTuber, Mikey Guzman, who I actually enjoyed. I thought it was fun, and I would totally watch that YouTube channel if it ever happened. And when they're putting this team together, he comes in with two other people that he's going to bring along with him, and he's going to pay them out of the cut that he's getting from this heist job. But his YouTube channel is literally about him shooting zombies. But within a minute of this guy showing up, one of the people he's brought along, I don't even remember his name. Did they mention his name? I don't know. He's like, Oh, what? This is gonna be about shooting zombies?
Hold on. This is the real plan? It's zombies?
Yeah, bro. Hey, what's going on? I thought you were cool with it. I thought you were always talking about how if you saw a zombie, you'd fuck his shit up.
That was bullshit, man. Fuck this. I'm out.
And he freaks out and he bails. Oh, good for him. But the craziest part to me is that you literally came along with the YouTuber whose job it is to shoot zombies, and then you kind of freak out about him planning on shooting zombies. How did you not know that? He's your friend, isn't he? This is what you've been doing with him. I assume you know what he does, you know his shtick. Why are you surprised? Why are you freaking out at this point? Wasn't it kind of obvious? Stupid character reaction, in my opinion. He's a bad character. Also, if you completely clip him out from the movie, nothing changes. You barely remember he was there at all by the time you get to the end of it. So, shitty character. Bye. We don't really need you, but okay, you were just there. Next, and who are we gonna tackle on this front? I would say let's just get to it with the one who irritated me a lot. Oh wait, no, let's not go to her yet. Let's go to the second of the people that Mikey brought along with him, and I believe her name was Chambers or something like that. And she's along the team. She's not freaked out about shooting zombies, even though she's never done it before. And in they go. Another member of the team is a guy called Martin. And let's just say from the outset, you can just tell that he's not one of the good guys. He's actually somebody who works with the billionaire. He's his head of security or something. And he's going in as, the one who's keeping an eye on everyone to check over the billionaire's interests. Fair enough. But you can just tell he's not a part of the team. He's not, like, he hasn't got the camaraderie the rest of them have. And he's not trustworthy, as in anybody can see this. But at some point, due to plot, they have to walk through a kind of underground place that's full of zombies, but the zombies are hibernating. Yeah, the zombies are hibernating, and they have to walk through it. And okay, great. And so the character Chambers, who is with Mikey, she tells him very clearly, I don't trust you. I don't think you're a good guy. When I get the chance, I'm gonna fuck you up. As in she's real threatening, like real saucy all of a sudden. And my question is, why? If it's okay to not trust him, he doesn't look trustworthy. I don't think anyone trusts him. But she makes the kind of fatal mistake of letting him go ahead of her. They're also walking in the strangest way. I would think that they would stick together and not space each other out that much, like space themselves out when going through this section, but they do. And because she's literally told him that she has it out for him, he gets up to shenanigans that are definitely to her detriment. And to avoid all this, all she had to do was keep it zipped. She didn't have to say a thing. She could have thought it. The characters had literally had this little discussion earlier about him, expressing the same sentiments. So why she did it and why she made him know, quite obviously, that she had a target on his back and then let him walk ahead of her didn't make sense to me. It led to a great takeout scene of taking out some zombies, and that's great. But I also think if that part of the story were omitted or changed, and the guy still ended up being a dodgy character later on, it wouldn't have been a bad thing. I don't think anybody needed this to establish that he wasn't a guy with the team's best interests at heart. And it just wasn't necessary. But so I think, once more, really stupid character decision, something which I don't think most people outside of a cinematic situation would do. If you don't trust someone, just don't trust them. Share that lack of trust with people you do trust, rather than try to stir shit up just for the sake of it, and then once more put yourself a little bit at their mercy by making a silly decision to let them go ahead of you, when if they went behind you, if they didn't have your back, it would be the same as no one being there. So doesn't make sense. Okay, next. Number 3 of irritating characters. Oh my goodness. I just have to hand it to Kate Ward, who is playing Dave Bautista's, Scott Ward's, daughter. Oh my god. Why? Just why? I don't understand why in the least bit how anybody could be on the side of this lady. I don't know how. Because, okay, I get it. She's a volunteer. And honestly, yeah, that's another thing. But she is working in this camp which has been set up outside of the zombie zone. It's called the quarantine zone. And she has a friend who has gone in, and now the friend has left a couple of her children. She has 2 children. She's left them outside in the quarantine zone, I assume. And Kate is like, I want to go in after my friend who didn't come out after she went in. Most people would assume their friend is dead, and if they had that much dedication to protecting the children the friend is left behind, would stay to protect the children. But what she does is she goes up to her dad and she's like, hey, I want to go in after my friend who's disappeared in there, and you need to take me with you on this mission of yours. And her dad is like, whoa, this is super dangerous. I don't think you should come because I don't want you to risk getting hurt. It's a bad idea. No. And her response to that is like, if you don't do it, I'm gonna go myself. I'm gonna go in there, probably die. Huh? What do you think about that?
I can either go in with you and you can keep me safe, or I'll just sneak in after you. And I'll probably die. The choice is yours.
What the? Why? Why would you say that? Your father is trying to protect you and he's making a very reasonable argument. This place is hella dangerous, hella risky. Stay outside. And on top of that, the logical assumption is that her friend is dead. She's not doing the most logical thing, which would be to protect her friend's kids, who she knows are alive and who she has the power to protect, rather than go in, her, probably the only person with these children's interests at heart, is also risking her own death. And she's not just risking her own death. She's essentially saying, if you don't take me with you, I'm gonna go commit suicide in a zombie war zone. What the hell? Makes her completely unsympathetic in my book, because that is so manipulative. So just like, ugh, what kind of a person reasons like that, what strong arms people like that? It's not a sympathetic character trait. And I will say, spoiler alert, stop here if you don't know, maybe skip 5 seconds ahead. She's the only one who survives. Really? Really? Why? But anyhow, so she goes in, and I would say her actions are responsible. The very fact that she went in is responsible for the deaths of several people. Yes, directly, it's her fault. And yeah, so that's how it goes. I don't find her sympathetic at all. And the friend she goes in after, she's called Geeta. And I find her plenty irritating, but okay, I get why she went in, as in she's desperate, she needs some money to get out. But once more, another spoiler, at some point, she just disappears. Whether that's a setup for a sequel or some other idea that Zack Snyder has, I don't know. But the whole, I would say, last maybe 40 minutes of the movie is all about getting Gita out, and it drives the remaining end of the plot. So where did she disappear to? These are serious questions, as in, what? But really, I think maybe I shouldn't just like hate on it and say, like, I think one way that this could really have just been fixed in terms of the story to fix this character, the character of Kate, would have been establishing her relationship with Gita a little bit stronger than the opening scene with her and the really dodgy security guard who has definitely got evil guy mustache. And what you need is to establish the relationship a little bit better, you know. And then instead of having her two kids be like really young, they seemed like young kids under the age of 12, have one just be a little bit older and maybe a fan of the Mikey Guzman zombie killer thing, and have him kind of like impetuously and impulsively go in as a teenager, you know, just have one of the kids go in, and then have Gita really like distraught about it and wanting to follow her kid in. And then the Kate character could quite easily be like, no, you have to stay here and protect your other kid, because what'll happen if this kid is just left alone? It's a young kid. So because I know my dad is going in, I'm going to ask him, please send me in, because if there's any chance of finding this kid, I'm going to risk it for you, you know, as in we're friends, we've got a deeper bond. And essentially, it turns her character from being this like whiny kid who threatens suicide if she doesn't get what she wants, into like a really sympathetic figure who is like trying to do the best they can for somebody they care about. And yeah, that's just my ideas. And you tell me your ideas about what would have made this character better, or if you thought she was a great character to begin with. And drop a like and subscribe if you like this video. Drop a comment about what you think about the characters in this movie. Who was the coolest one? Who was the worst in your opinion? And what did you think of the movie overall? Anyway, thanks guys, and thanks for joining me, and see you next time.